Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Scorpio is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And Three of Cups, beautiful, abundant love energy. This is appreciation, this is gratitude, this is joy, this is care, this is affection, this is giving, this is a gift, right? I feel like these are all you. You have all of this potential in you. You've got a lot of love inside of you to give, you know. I think right now you're somebody who's sort of, well, you have a lot of gratitude, a lot of appreciation. I feel like you're writing down a lot of things. I feel like you're writing down not the events of the day. You're writing down like intentions. You know, you're writing down, maybe it's a gratitude journal kind of thing too, but I feel like you're writing down all of these things that you're wishing for, all these things that you want in life, everything you're trying to manifest. I feel like you're writing them down, you know. You're on a search for meaning, for depth, for love, joy, and beauty, and bliss, and all these things too. You're on the search for your sort of counterpart, right? The Three of Cups to me feels like an internal readiness, an internal like state. It's an abundance that we have, and you're looking to connect that with things, people, places, whatever, ideas outside of yourself. The Three is looking for the other three, you know. Your abundance is looking to connect with somebody or something outside of yourself where there's a match, there's a harmony, there's a resonance. Three and the Three create the six, the beauty, the kind of the harmony of life. Yeah. So I feel like you're looking for those intimate connections, and we're not talking romance or anything. I mean, it's part of it. There's romantic love, platonic love, divine love, self-love, and everything in between. Okay? And this is your capacity to love. This is your abundance of all of that kind of energy, and looking now to utilize it, to connect with others outside of yourself. Yeah. There's a lot of love energy. Let's see where this is going. We're going to put this into some context. Ooh, a Three of Wands. See, now we kind of have, well, now we're creating that six, right? The Three of Wands is kind of like your non-negotiables. This is your sense of character. This is your moral compass in a way, right? This is that part of you that is really like magnetically, energetically, spiritually guided to the right sort of receptacle, right? With your Three connecting with another Three of Cups in the external world, this is your conscious will. This is your, well, your personal sense of direction, your personal sense of right or wrong even. This is your integrity. This is you knowing what kind of love you want, knowing what you will and will not tolerate or accept. Yeah. You're very strongly guided by your divine energy, by your willpower, by your connection with God, Goddess, deity, your conscience, your higher mind, higher wisdom, spirit guides, ancestors, guardian angels, whatever you want to call it. You have a sense of direction, right? And so it feels like these are a lot of things in your life that you're not going to compromise on. That yes, we're looking for those intimate connections. We're looking to have that sort of relationship with the world. But there's a lot that you would not compromise. Okay? You're very strong-willed person, and you're very, it's almost stubborn in a way, where there's things that you're just not going to negotiate on. There's things that that are not on the table for compromise. You have a strong sense of your own identity. Okay? And I feel like you have so much to offer the world that you're not just going to kind of freely give it away, You're going to be very discerning about what you do with your energy. It's integrity, it's self-respect, this one. So having that sense of direction, having that sense of self, knowing who you are, knowing your own worth and value. At the same time now, looking for something that's going to match us, that's going to be sort of equal to that. And maybe we're not talking about romance at all. Maybe this is like finding the friendships that are going to be like on your level, that are going to be, there's going to be that mutual love and respect. Maybe it's finding the career, the job situation, something that's going to have that kind of, it's going to be on your level, right? That mutual love and respect. Let's see what else is going on here. What's underneath the surface? Is it more water energy? No, it's that devil card. You're someone who very much could go through life absolutely alone if you needed to. You've got this driving force. You've got this ambition. You've got the ability to push forward in your life with your goals, in your direction, indefinitely. A lot of stamina here, a lot of endurance with this card. Of course, we're looking for connections, but again, the goat would rather be alone than be with the wrong people. Yeah. And sometimes there's a tendency to maybe focus or to be a little bit too resigned to being alone, solitary sort of creature, right? That we maybe aren't noticing a lot of the potential connections around us. And sometimes we get the blinders on. Sometimes we feel that our path is a solitary path, and then we kind of get fixed in that energy. It becomes sort of an unconscious reality that we're sort of perpetuating. Okay? And this is, of course, the card that's underneath the surface here. This is your driving force, and you have to kind of you have to be aware that we get into this mode, and sometimes it's difficult to see our way out of it. But I feel that, in a very literal way, this is somebody that is very career-oriented. Yeah, they want a family and they want a relationship, but they're not going to settle for anything, that it doesn't meet their standards, right? So they focus on their work, their career, their projects, whatever it is, that kind of solitary life. And they focus so much on that they're kind of not noticing all these potential, soulmate people and all these experiences and all these loves that are kind of going on around them, right? They got the blinders on. It's kind of they're locked into that other work, okay, that solitary work. Okay. So it feels like you're a solitary animal, but you kind of want to be a social animal. You want to have the connections in life that just add to the depth and meaning of life. And that's the key. It has to add something to your life. Otherwise, you're not interested. Okay? Let's see what's in the background here. There's that Lover's card. That's kind of the motivating force. What's pushing you forward is this sense of purpose, sense of destiny. To me, it feels like we have a picture of a perfect relationship in our minds. We know, I think you have very high standards, as you should. And I think that this is that image in the back of your mind that says, this is what I want. I'm not accepting anything less than this. This is perfection. This is an absolute soulmate situation, a true love. This is the ideal relationship, right? These are the standards that you hold. And you're inspired to either find this or to keep pushing forward in your life in that solitary kind of lone wolf kind of way. Okay? You're not getting into friendships, relationships, work situations or what, you're not getting into any kind of partnership or entanglement unless it's adding something to your life and it kind of meets your expectations. Okay? And so this is something that's kind of always with you. This is like the model of perfection for you. And you're hoping one day you will find that sort of connection that's going to get you pretty close to this. Now, maybe this was, maybe you have some sort of a physical model for this. Maybe this was like your parents or your grandparents, right? It would just seem perfect. And it's like, that's the kind of relationship I want. Maybe it's friends of yours or something where it's just, that's what I want. And until I get this, I'm okay to go without, the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like it's kind of, it's really an idea of divine timing here. I feel that you are in a place in your life where you're starting to really focus on expanding out. We're talking about the blinders with the goat, with the devil card. This is kind of the opposite of that. This is like the horizon is expanding, that we're broadening out our view. Instead of narrowing it down into a point, focused on what we're focused on, now we're saying, okay, it's time for me to just kind of like lift my head up and look around and see what's out here. This is the Jupiter energy. This is a card of expansion. This is a card of prosperity. This is basically saying that you've kind of been on the bottom of that wheel for a long time, between the rubber and the road, just on the grind, focused on what you're focusing on, your work or spiritual work, your career, whatever it is. That kind of lone wolf, solitary work that you've been doing, yeah. But now it kind of feels like the Ferris wheel you're starting to get to the top of the wheel now. And you can see a lot more from up here. And it's kind of like, let's just hold the wheel right at the top of the Ferris wheel. I know it's kind of scary up here, it's high. We can see so much. We can see other parts of the amusement park, other areas that we want to go explore and have fun, see if we like it out there, And I think that this is really just that time in your life where you've accomplished a lot in your kind of solitary, maybe in your professional life, but in that solitary lone wolf kind of way, you've accomplished a lot already. And maybe now it really is time for you to look around and see what else is out there that you want to connect with. It doesn't have to be romance, okay? Let's not limit it to that. That's narrow. That's devil energy, narrow focus. We're talking about connections with people, with places, with things, with ideas, with issues, with a sense of purpose, with the natural world, with whatever, right? That add depth and meaning and richness to your life. See, this is the card of riches. This is that, again, this is the kind of the abundant Jupiter energy that just brings riches, gold, jewels, treasures, It adds to the value of your life. That's what you're looking for. And if it doesn't add value to your life, you're under no obligation to accept it or to hang on to it. It doesn't hurt to look around, right? Let's see what's in the future position. Prince of Pentacles, builder energy. We could be talking about a Taurus person here. But I feel that this is moving forward. We know that it is to discover those things that we wish to connect with and to make those connections and maintain those connections, to have this kind of ideal relationship. And now if this is your grandparents, go ask them. I bet they'll tell you the same thing. It takes a lot of work. It's not something that we just have. Boom, it's here, done, great. It's something that takes work to build. First, you've got to construct it, then you've got to maintain it. So for you, if you're going to put that much effort into it, it's got to be perfect, right? It's got to meet it's got to tick all the boxes. It's got to meet all of your standards because it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of focus. It's going to take time and energy away from these other things, whatever you've been doing, to have those kind of relationships, whether they're friendships, platonic relationships, other work relationships, business things, networking, connections, or if it is romance, right? Or if it is spiritual connections, if it is a richer spiritual life, Okay? Or if it is more life geared towards self-love and self-care and self-development, spiritual awareness, spiritual experience. You got to spend the time and the money, to construct it and to maintain that. It's a lot of work, But it's worth it if it is expanding your life and your experience of life in this way that adds so much value for you. Right? Value for value here. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is, there's a volunteer. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to put our very own Kelly Kapoor right there. Shout out to Mindy. Heard she is a fan of the show. Now, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do, because it's free. It really helps out the channel. Okay. And if you have a prediction for the mystery card, drop it in the comments. Our volunteer card, of course, was the lust or strength card. And I think that this is one, the courage to put yourself out there and to find those sorts of connections, right? But as we know, kind of with the devil energy and the driving force, sometimes this is can become a pleasure drive. Sometimes we can sort of get addicted, or we can get like too attached or too focused on those immediate results, that immediate gratification, and we kind of stop thinking bigger picture, So the lust or strength card is really about us getting control over our appetites, okay? To keep the higher aspirations in mind. That yet we have these desires and these appetites, but I want to stay in conscious control of them. Again, using your Three of Wands, using your willpower, using your integrity, your moral compass, and your higher will, right? To direct the forces of your appetite, to kind of say what you will and will not, consume or engage with or interact with. If we let our appetites go, I'd be eating junk food all day, right? We keep that in control. We have a little bit of junk food is okay, some chips, some ice cream and stuff. But we have these greater goals in mind. And I know what kind of things I wish to consume to create the sort of value I want in my life. Okay. So really it is about control. And I think there's the temptation that once we kind of get started at the buffet, we're just going to go crazy, right? We have to stay in control of that. We've got to be able to hold this beast back, right? The beast of our appetites. Okay. Because this really is about you finding something that is really absolutely perfect for you. Friends, if it's the creation of a family, if it's creation of business networks or romantic relationships, it really is something that has to be bigger picture. It has to take your ultimate kind of life plans. It has to add richness and value to your life. It has to be something that you feel is worth the investment of all the time, money, energy, and effort that you're going to put into building, constructing, and maintaining these relationships, right? Rather than just letting our animal nature take over and just, direct everything. So that's a good card to keep in mind. Let's take a look at the general energy now. We've got a Nine of Pentacles. That is you building and constructing these relationships, right? We're seeing a lot of progress here. And now we've got a lot of earth energy now, right? The earth energy here, 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 even the Jupiter energy with the Wheel of Fortune kind of suggests like earth and money and jewels and riches, So we're talking about the gain in value. We're talking about the adding of value to your life. It's not just money, right? Money and finances is like the kind of lowest interpretation of the earth energy in tarot, Sometimes we need money, and that's legit. We do. A lot of the time, this is talking about the increase in wealth, the increase of financial abundance for you, okay? But I kind of feel as if that's already something that you're working on. I don't know that you need a whole lot of help there, I feel like you kind of know what you're doing already. It feels to me like this is that deeper value related to that Three of Cups. Wanting more satisfaction of life, wanting to see more wealth and more value and more richness in other ways than just financial. Okay, so this is us wanting to see that our life is making progress It's an active card. This is you living your best life. Now, your best life includes the financial life, your physical, financial kind of existence, but it's also the mental, emotional, the spiritual, creative life, right? It's you working on every plane of being, right? 3 + 3 + 3. You want abundance on every plane. You're willing to do the work on every plane if it's going to add to your abundance, if it's going to lead you to a life that the living of which you can say is your best, doing your very best in life, 9, that's really, I love the 9 of Pentacles. Let's see what's in the environment. We've got a High Priestess. So the High Priestess is now, it's the first sort of discerning energy that we had, because there are no swords cards. What we've got first is the psychic energy, the intuition. So maybe there's a reason we're keeping the swords out of it. Because logically speaking, the emotions, the heart, doesn't matter. Right? Because the intuition, the love energy, the emotional energy, the spiritual energy is irrational. So if we bring in the swords energy, the swords are going to kind of say, that doesn't make sense. I don't know why you're doing this. I don't know why you're seeking these things out. I don't know why you've stopped your devil energy to then get to the top of the Ferris wheel and look around at the amusement park. No, let's get back to work, So the High Priestess is that waxing lunar energy. It's the widening psychic aperture. It's the wide opening of the third eye. We're not squinting with the third eye. We're trying to open wide our third eye. And in other words, we're trusting our intuition. We're seeing what's out there, not through the senses necessarily, but through the senses, but not just through the senses. You have a lot of earth energy, so it's very sensual, but not through the rational mind. We're trying to maybe take in all of the sights and sounds of this amusement park of life, right? And use that psychic, lunar, kind of instinctual, intuitive energy to make sense of it, rather than logic, because it is by nature irrational. Okay? And that's what you're doing here, is you're trying to look at everything through the third eye and understand what you're being drawn to and why, right? I think that you've probably been having a lot more dreams of a different kind lately, okay? You've maybe been dreaming of the fulfillment of desires, right? You've been, there's really no safe way to put this, so we'll leave it at that. You've been, I think, getting messages from the divine, from the unconscious, right? Through dreams, daydreams, fantasies, visions, that sort of thing, that are sort of pulling you in a different direction in life, that are kind of urging you toward making these other connections in the world. These emotional, intimate, and creative even connections, right? Let's see what the obstacle of this. I bet you it's going to be some air energy. Oh no. We've got a 6 of Cups as the difficulty. I think really this goes back to our Lover's card. Because the 6 of Cups is really a perfect match with your 3 of Cups. The 3 of Cups and another 3 of Cups, perfect match, we get a 6 of Cups. So perhaps the difficulty for you is the imperfection of this world in which we live, right? Nothing that we do, no relationship we ever have is 100% perfect, okay? And it could be that we are expecting, see it, and now it kind of brings up the debate between our standards and our expectations. We have standards that are just sky high. Infinitely high standards that we want everything to reach. We want everything to meet those standards. We hold ourselves to those standards, and we expect everything else to have those standards, do we? Should we expect everything to meet our very high standards? Because I think if we do, then we realize that we're always going to be disappointed. Everything is going to fall just a little bit short of our standards. Now, I'm all for having astronomically high standards, but we've all got to be reasonable with our expectations, right? Our standard, I expect everybody to, to get 100% on the quiz. That's my standard. The standard is 100%, right? But in reality, what I expect is people get pretty close. Some will be less, some will be more. It'll be, So I think the Six of Cups is here in the difficulty because we sort of expect things to be absolute perfect mirror images. Okay? And so we got that Three of Cups. You're looking for your counterpart Three of Cups out there in the world, and we want that. That's the ideal. That's like the perfect thing. And if we have that in mind when we're thinking of this from the past, if this is grandma and grandpa or whatever, right? You go talk to them, they're going to say, no, it's not perfect. It's not like a mirror image of things. It's not flawless. It's impossible for anything to be flawless on this plane of existence. In an ideal sense, we can have this standard of perfection. But in the real world, it's sometimes these little differences, these little details that we notice over time about ourselves, about other people, these little imperfections that give things their uniqueness, that really bring out the beauty of things. Right? And we think of, like artwork that's just kind of mass-produced, or these cookie-cutter houses or something, And each one might be flawless. It might look exactly like the one before it. But it's really that house at the end of the street that's just got some little quirks about it that's not quite perfect. It came out with a little bit of a different color paint or had some weird room off to the side or whatever, right? That's what makes it special. That's what kind of makes it unique. So the Six of Cups as your obstacle here, I think, is sort of looking for that perfect mirror image, flawless sort of counterpart. It's almost identical to ourselves, right? We don't quite want that. We don't want to be with somebody who is exactly like we are, essentially, right? So I think this is really important to realize that there is a lot of uniqueness in the world. Let's see what the final outcome is here. The Four of Cups. The Four of Cups, to me, is kind of an alternative. It's almost kind of refusing everything that is not exactly what you want, And we think of the Four of Cups in the Rider-Waite-Smith. It's somebody sitting under a tree like this, right? And there's 3 cups in front of them. They're like this. And Spirit's handing them another cup. And they're like this. They're not going to take it. Nope. I have these 3 cups. If you're not giving me another one exactly like it, I don't want it. And so we're kind of pouting, going, right? And that's what we're feeling here. That we're going to refuse something that is absolutely wonderful and beautiful and adds so much richness and value and meaning and depth to our life because it's not exactly perfect in every single way. It's like, I don't know, it's like somebody that is going to buy something new. Let's say you're buying a car, you're buying back to the house thing, you're looking for a house, and you want it to be absolutely perfect. And you go and you say, well, the car's got a little scratch right there. I don't want it. I'm not going to take it. It's a rejection of any sort of imperfection or abnormality or flaw in something. That we're refusing something that is good for us just because it is not what we expected or what we thought we wanted, or there's other ways of looking at that. But I feel like we have to be open. We could at least take that cup from Spirit and see if we like it. It's kind of somebody who drinks a certain brand of water and then they're dying of thirst and someone says, here's a glass of water. You think, oh, that's not my water. That's not what I drink. I don't think that's a perfect analogy, but you get the idea, right? Let's look at the mystery card. I'm curious. I think this is the love that you always wanted. but I think it may not look how we kind of expected it to look. And we have to be aware that it is absolutely not going to be a perfect, flawless mirror image of sort of what you're expecting, right? So as far as this goes, maybe Empress, maybe Ace of Cups, maybe a 9 or a 10 of Cups, maybe a 6 of Cups, right? I think that would be kind of ironic, right? Because it's kind of saying that, look, we have to check our expectations of life, right? And then I think if we get the 6 of Cups again, it's kind of saying you're getting exactly what you want, primarily because you learn to let go of that expectation of what we think we want. Right? Does that make sense? Anyway, that's what I'm going to say. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Oh my God, there it is. There's the 6 of Cups, because you're getting exactly what you want, exactly what you need. This is the love, I think, that you always wanted. This is that reciprocating, mutually respecting love and affection, those connections, that intimacy. This is friends, this is family, this is romantic stuff, this is self-love, divine love, this is everything. This is all of those kinds of strong emotional connections that you want in life. And I think it's really because we're getting over this idea of this having to look a certain way. That if it's not exactly like this, I'm going to refuse it. Right? And then I think that's closing us off. That's being very narrow again, very much in that devil energy. I'm only accepting something that is exactly like this. Right? And I think that's sort of, we're missing out on a lot that life has to offer. So I feel like this is a big shift. I feel like you're getting the love that you always wanted, and it might be coming in many forms that you didn't expect it to take. Yeah. I like it. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Scorpio Wednesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It does not cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.